Hey there, Hollywood Hills fans, and welcome to this week's show. I hope you guys are surviving the massive heat wave that we are all going through. Believe me, we have been sweating over the keyboards, making magic happen for you guys. So last week, it was the opening round of the GXCCs out at Lekoa Lodge, the first of their 8-round championship. I'm so pumped that they've got back to the 8-round championship with one throwaway. Makes things a little bit easier in the championship, and it gives us a bit more variety as well, as we're no doubt going to be hitting some brand new venues this season as well. It's going to give the guys a lot of racing to cover throughout the season. This is what went down at round 1, Lekoa Lodge. It was epic. It's here, 2024, and the opening round of the GXCC Championship, going back to the 8 rounds with one throwaway, so it's going to be a super duper busy season with a couple of well-known venues and a couple of brand new venues coming into the fray. Opening round, Lekoa Lodge, the classic race venue to kick things off in 2024. Great entries, good numbers on the page, and everyone was ready to rock and roll as we drop the first flag of the season. Alright, so it's the opening round of the GXCCs and it's back to an 8-round banger championship, and we're back at Lekoa Lodge. Dude, I'm so excited.
It's a great venue to start off with the year, and so blessed. We had beautiful rain last night, so we can't ask for anything better.
Entries were looking a little bit thin, and then all of a sudden on Wednesday, everyone lined up.
I think it's just the beginning of the year. Everybody needs to get their MSA licenses and race numbers, and some acts obviously left it until the last minute, but I was a little bit worried, but then bang, what a great start for the year.
Excited faces down in the pits. We went down to have a quick tour before we headed to the line.
I hope it's going to be very fun. Hopefully no rocks like last year, and I hope I do good. I'm looking forward to race the whole season in the GXCC and still with skate construction, yeah.
Twane, a short off season, so how ready are you for this one?
I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm feeling confident. Just trying to win the championship of the Junior 85. I'm going to take this race not really like fast or anything, just take it easy and slow and see what podium I got.
You see how many of the junior 65s have started moving up as well, so I think it's going to be that banger gate once again, eh?
Yeah. So I have to watch out for GJ. I don't know how long he's been practicing on the 85, but I think he's going to be the competition, and Liam Skippers for sure, and yeah.
Hey Sparky, 2024, a new bike, a new team, everything's changed for you in the off-season.
Yes, I think this year will be a nice year. Thank you for Wayne for picking me up into the Bikers Warehouse team. I think it's going to be a good year. I think today will be a nice race. Just hope for the best.
We've seen you get quite comfortable on the big bike straight away, so obviously you're spending a bit of time setting this thing up.
Yes.
Dee, it seems like everyone is super keen to get racing this year, eh?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a fun year, fun racing.
Last year we talked about you as a motocross crossover, now you're a full-on off-road, eh?
Yeah, it's very fun.
You're obviously moving up quite soon into the 125, so I can see you're going to be a little bit too big for this bike the whole way through the day, eh?
Yeah, it might be a bit too big, but it's fun because I can work the bike around.
Bernie, so cool to see all of the quads out here. I mean, Wednesday we had almost no entries, now we've got lekker entries, eh?
Ja, ons sien nog al uit na die nuwe baan. Ek dink Wian het gesê van die goed bietjie verander. So ja, ek dink ons gaan dit geniet. Dit gaan lekker wees. Ons is 'n lekker groot span, al die vrouens bymekaar hierso, so ek dink dit gaan lekker wees.
I know you're still carrying the injury, but the girls are representing hard, and I think they're always good on these 4x4s.
Ja, ek dink hulle gaan lekker ry. Vanaand Lekoa is maar lekker klippe. En ja, ek dink die vrouens sal dit geniet.
T, the quads are looking strong this year. You got some big competition, man.
Yes, yeah, really, I'm happy to be back. It felt like, yes, I think last time I raced was in November. Q2 a little bit, I think we only got 4 guys there. I know Hannes, Rion and them, they're definitely going to be on the next race, but yeah, I see the lineup's nice. Q1, big gate, so hopefully it's not a lot of dust, so we can make our way to the front.
Yeah, we know there's some lowland here, but there's a lot of rocks as well, so I think the rocks is the biggest problem in the side for the quaddies.
Yeah, definitely. Like I always tell everyone, Lekoa Lodge is, it's where the boys and the men separate. It's a really hard track, but it's fun. Really enjoy this track. Rocks, yes. Look, there's a couple of places. I'm on new tires and stuff, trying out new tires. So hopefully, I don't get any flats or stuff like that.
Have you got anything for Franco this year?
Yes. Oh, you know what? He's fast. I think he's got a different challenge in Q1 this year because Carly is there as well. So, but yeah, to catch up with those guys, hopefully we can get to them and just stick with them.
Super excited. I entered in Q1 this year, so I'm riding with the big boys. Something different, new challenge. So hoping to finish the whole year, maybe get a podium here and there, and then let's see how it goes. Yes, the entries look good. This is a bigger class throughout the year, hopefully. So hopefully we can inspire more people to come and race.
Franco, feels like we just wrapped up last season. Now we're at gate number 1 for the season of 2024. How are you feeling?
Ja nee, dit was vinnig geweest laas jaar. Dis voel of dit net 2 weke was, soos weer hierso. Ek is gesond, ek is fiks, ek is goed. Alles is goed geloop deur die vakansie. Almal was veilig geweest en ek's reg hier om te ry.
I was sweating on Wednesday. There weren't too many quads and then all of a sudden everyone pulled in.
Ja nee, hier's nou baie quads in, ek is happy daaroor. Dit is regtig goeie beter kompetisie vir ons en ek geniet dit. Dit is regtig baie lekker.
First flag of the season. Here we go. Q1's was going to be an interesting situation. Franco Pretorius was the dude to beat, as always. He got the cheese and ran out front with the whole shot. Francois Smallberger had moved up into the Q1s, as well as gnarly Carly Simon, the top lady racer, gating inside of the top 4. Q2s. Donnie Van Staden, always a powerhouse off the gate, but looped it out on the big 4x4. The grass was still a little bit wet as he went. Complete 360. Martinez has moved across onto the KTM, and Henny McCow Jr. was back on the tour with us. Quad Masters would be up next with a ton of the Desanti in the queue. That was Fernando and Roxy. Philip Boyce was going to be a big threat. Vickers Pretorius got the whole shot though, so it's going to be interesting to see what went down. We would no doubt be seeing new challenges, new competitors, and potentially new champions coming off the Quad Masters gate. Sway Schubert fired up the big 4x4 Can-Am to get the cheese. He went out front, looking to see what he could do up against Tony DeSantos and Darby DeVette. Those two riders finding each other in the start maze, tripping each other up a little bit. They would have to chase from the back of the pack to go out into the fields. For the ladies' gate, 3 ladies counting and scoring. Nicole and Liesel Barnard, as well as Carly Van Staden, going out there into the terrain. 48.8 kilometers for the quaddies to take on Lekoa Lodge. Once the quads cleared the gate, we turned our attention to the juniors who would be going out there on the short course. The senior 85s, Drickus van der Merwe, firing out of the gate on the VW Mastercars Hatfield machine. He was going to be the dude to beat, with the reigning champion Murray Smith moving up into the high score 125s. The 85s and the seniors and the juniors were absolutely stacked in the 2024 season. The junior 85s giving us the biggest junior gate. Sparky got the whole shot. He's moved up from the 65s into the 85 juniors, getting picked up by the Bikers Warehouse squad on the Husky. This was going to be an absolute war as they went out there into the morning 2-hour event. 65s, no John Luke van der Vesthuizen on the gate this time around, so it was going to be the open gate to see who was going to get the whole shot and who was going to get the cheese. The big swingers, Derek Milan, Declan Richards. It's going to be interesting to see who's going to come out on top on this one. Those two definitely the class of the field. Same situation with the 50cc's, where Van Deventer had moved up into the 65s. The 50s would see a new champion in 2024. 50s a little bit thin on the gate at the opening round, but we were expecting to see more and more of the riders come into the queue as we traversed the 8-round championship. Tell me about the morning loop. Let's start with the juniors. A little bit of rain. Are we expecting mud or what?
Oh, 1 or 2 patches, but nothing where they're going to get stuck. It's going to be awesome just to let the dust settle and make it so much easier to race each other and not worry about the dust. It's a tight loop, quite a lot of twists and turns. It looks like it's fast when they go out here, but when they're out on the track, just when they think they're going to get on the gas, they're going to have to slow down and take a turn. A little bit bumpy in areas, a few loose rocks, but it's well marked, and they're going to have a good busy day out there.
So here we go. Let's go out there and start climbing the first ladders of the season. On the 50cc gate, thin numbers, but we also saw some brand new players coming into the championship as well. Blake Kruger, one of the new bloods coming in, taking a number 5 ride with Quinton Vermaak just up the road from him on a number 4 position. Those riders going on a 1 lap and a 2 lapper start to climb the ladder. Bernard Bluknoot managed to squeeze in a 3 lap racing count with Eamon Scholz starting to stand out as a championship key player running out of Spherical Logistics. Second place for him, but it was Rogan Matthews, a new rider on the top step at the opening round of the season. Always cool to see fresh faces and names at the beginning of a championship tour. The 65cc's, where once again we would see different riders starting to challenge for the point places. 8th place going to Julian van der Berg on a 2-lap score counting. Up the road from him, one of the fastest 50cc racers from the end of last year's tour, Kellen van Deventer, moving up onto the 65, scoring 7th place, starting to figure out how to click the gears and twist the throttle. Sebastian Nell, similar situation, moving out of the 50cc's and moving up into the championship point scoring position of a number 6. Alexander Nemeth, nice place and good ride on the throttle for him. A number 5 finish. Trav Levy, similar situation. Outgrew his 50cc about 2 seasons back, but wasn't old enough to make the bold move up. Now looks super comfortable, taking a number 4 ride. The Moto Klerksdorp Yamaha riders going 4 and 3 on the day. Tief Swart, just 1 position ahead. Not too far up the road on timing as well. 3rd place gives him a strong start to his championship tour. It's a 2-horse race all the way through the morning session with Declan Richards and Derek Milan going toe for toe. It was after the fuel stops and the strategies came into play where we started to see an outright winner and leader. Richards putting Milan 1 position down. Richards, the dude, at round number 1. Up the road into the stacked gate of the junior 85s. Josh Fotheringham starting to make a name for himself up there into a number 8, climbing the ladder. Swan 18 Pont, spare a thought for the Gravity Racing fastest lady out there. She collapsed her rear moose on lap number 1 and had to fight back the whole way through the morning session to get herself into a number 7. Dylan Human still riding on the Pets and Plastics Kawasaki squad, happy with his ride into a number 6. Nico Molotsani just up the road from him into a number 5. Great to see the riders coming across from Lesotho as part of the F&B Lesotho Young Rider Initiative. We've got something like 10 of those riders that come and join the party every single time. On the big numbers then, climbing the ladder up to a number 4, Ewan Fourie, his best start to a championship chase. Roald Potgieter, what a great pickup from Harry on the Big H as well. Now riding on the UB Leisure, the franchise co-squad. 3rd place for him and his first time out on the big wheels on the 85. He is going to be a big threat, as is this rider. Pierre Katsier, the reigning 65cc club regional and national champion, going to be going out there to see what he can do on the 85s. But it's Liam Skeepers who brings his wealth of experience after a couple of seasons on the 85s. He is now the man to beat and he leads the championship. On the senior 85s, massive eye-watering speeds coming out of these guys. Kakliso Kasipi getting the job done. Radicalo Linchwe up the road from him in a number 7. So these guys were really working well together inside of the single digits. Dylan Besaidhout was up the road from them, ticking the box inside of a number 6 ride. These guys were all on the lead lap. 6 laps scored and counted, showing how tight the racing was and how tight the racing is going to be the whole way through of 2024. Andy de Kock really battled the last season, his first time out on the 85s. Now a little bit taller, a little bit more experience, starting to show some form on the Bikers Warehouse Husky. 5th place for him. Corbin Miller going full privateer in the 2024 championship. 4th place for him with Willem Buerta, bagging and tagging number 3 ride for the Gravity Racing Stars. Buerta is going to be a big dog to watch out for. Looks very comfortable out there. Triggers van der Merwe riding out of the VW Mastercars Hatfield squad. Looked like he had this one wrapped up in a bow. second place though this time around because Derek van Asverken came on hard towards the end of the race and put him down by 1 second. That's 1 second at the end of 2 hours of racing. Watch out for this war to continue throughout the Championship Challenge and the Tour. Derek van Asverken, Drickus van der Merwe, 1 second in it. First blood goes to van Asverken.
Derek, I think I picked a good guy to chat to this morning. Hey, how was that race?
Geez, it was very fast, very fun, but the track got very, like when we rode over the grass and stuff and started making lines, the rocks started coming out. So the track got nice and sketchy.
What about the competition? Looks like you and Drickus were banging bars hard.
Yeah, I was a bit behind on the first part of the race. I got stuck behind a few riders, but then after I went past them, I started trying to catch him.
Looks like the fitness is good. You're not even out of breath, man.
Yeah, I don't train really. I should, but I don't know. But I couldn't have done it without Uncle George. I had 266 suspension and case construction.
Brother, bit of a bar banger to start off the season, hey?
Yeah, it was like I took the whole shot in the beginning, but it's actually very scary if you get the whole shot. You hear those bikes screaming behind you, and just a lot of pressure on you. But yeah, I led the whole race, and the last lap he passed me at the rocks, and I tried to catch him the whole time, waiting for him to make a mistake, but he won.
Derek was saying that the track kind of not fell apart, but it rutted up.
It got rough, yeah, it got whoopy and stuff, which was lacquer for him because he rides motocross and stuff. So, and the berms here at the end was lacquer.
Listen, it feels like we just wrapped up last season. How much off-season training have you done? Have you been on the bike a lot?
No, I haven't been on the bike a lot. I think 2 times. Not a lot, because I'm busy and stuff with schoolwork now.
Here's confirmation of the results coming out of the morning session for the juniors. Van Asverken gets the win over Van der Merwe, Buerta, Muller, De Kock, Besadenhout, Lynchway and Kasipi. Strong riding coming out of our senior 85s. Junior 85s all about Skippers and Kutsia. Incredible arrival for Potgieter as well, but watch out for Twane Tienpont to bounce back at the next couple of rounds. 65s, it's Declan Richards on the top step, but Milan is very close. Swart, Levy and Nemeth will do the chase down. And on the 50cc's, great to see some new blood at the top of the pile. Matthews, Scholz, Blicknort, Vermark and Kruger. That was our junior race. We now turn our attention to the quaddies.
Talk about the morning session. One of the biggest stories of the morning is the fact that we've got big gates on the quads once again. I don't know how that happened, but they're back. I was worried. At one stage I saw some of the classes had no entries or one entry, and all of a sudden now it's great to see the guys coming back. We know that quad racing is a bit more expensive than the two-wheelers, but yeah, the guys have got them sitting in their garage there. They must just come and race and have fun. It's great to see them. Gives an idea of the track, because it's quite a big year. It's a 48.8, I heard. Yeah, and close on 49 Ks. We've taken out some of the high-speed stall point areas around the Millie fields, and we've added a new section that they've never raced on before, just to mix it up a bit. A bit from last year's junior track is now incorporated into the senior track, and vice versa. So yeah, I know a different direction as well. So the guys are going to have a terrain that it feels like, yes, it looks familiar, but they're not going to recognize the track.
Lekoa Lodge, a fantastic race to start out our 8-round championship. The vet had his problems off the gate and never really recovered after that. Peter Besadenhout managed to climb up the ladder into a number 3 spot, but the top 2 riders were Tony DeSantos, the DeSanti, getting the job done there in a number 2 with Sways Blicknort, who after pulling the whole shot never looked back. Got the job done, taking the big 4x4 1000cc Can-Am to the top step. The quad ladies, of course, with Gnarly Carly moving up into the Q1 Premier class. There's going to be a new champion this time around. Liesl Barnard had her problems on lap number 1. Carly van Staden managed to do a 2-lap racing scorecard. Second place for her with Nicole Barnard getting it done. 3 laps scored and counted. And out front, leading the ladies challenge as we move forward into round number 2 of the series. Kern Britt sounds like she's going to be coming back for round number 2, so we'll hold our breath and hopefully we can get a 6-rider gate next time out. But for now, the Barnards are looking like the powerhouse squad coming off the gate. The Quad Masters, also an interesting situation where we saw Roxy DeSantos have his issues on the day. Didn't actually get to score 1 lap on the cards. Fernando Fivas getting it up the road into a number 5 with Fernando DeSantos getting it done inside of a number 4. This was probably the rockiest copy that the quads had to deal with. And as long as you just pinned it and ripped it, you'd get up and over the mountain quite nicely. Fernando job done for him. He stays inside of the scoring point positions to a number 4, Darren Moyle, who once again brings out one of the stockest looking LTZs out there. 3rd place for him, just showing it's not about the quad, it's about the rider. Vickers Pretorius hammered the throttle off the gate, got the big hole shot, got the cheese, and ran on a lead lap as well, only getting bested towards the end of the race by a hard charging Philip Boyce. But Vickers Pretorius is definitely a big threat in this season's championship on the big Raptor. Philip Boyce, though, a former champion in his own right, had some issues out there in the early laps and eventually came through to hammer the nail and bring the KTM home to take the opening round win, put his name in the hat for the championship. Q2's the open category. We had some thin numbers this time around. We're expecting to see those numbers jump up as we go through the rest of the tour. Rupert Fourie also had his issues not being able to score a lap count. Up the road from him then was Tinas Kutzer for Gravity Racing. He had issues out there as well. He swapped out from the Honda that he ran in last season's championship challenge with his brother, and now he is onto the KTM. He had some major problems, only scoring 1 lap, but it still keeps him in 3rd position on the day. 2nd place eventually went to Davy van Staden after that big 360 pirouette off the gate. He managed to get the 4x4 hooked up nicely and moved himself into 2nd place. Just 2 laps scored and counted, showing that he also had his issues on the day. The challenging technical terrain of Lekoa Lodge doesn't look too bad on the screen, but believe me, it's hard work on the quads. Haney Macau Jr., after a couple of seasons out there in the wilderness, fitness was definitely a factor for him, but experience came into play, and he managed to bring the Raptor home into a 1st place in category and also ran inside of the top 3 in the overalls. Hopefully we can see him on point for the whole championship tour. Moving up into the Premier Q1 category, where we saw Francois Smallberger moving out of the age group categories into the Premier class in 2024. He had some fueling issues on the day, which slowed his roll and kept him out of the lead lap. 3 laps scored and counted, and 6th place for him. Tian Wolfart, similar situation, also just not able to get the rhythm of Lekoa Lodge. It is a hard track to figure out at the early part of the season. If you haven't got your bike dialed at Lekoa, it can be a really tough day in the saddle. 5th place for him. Reinhard van Josveld, also good day for him actually. 4th place, just 1 lap off the lead lap, 3 laps scored and counted, and pretty happy with a finishing result at the opening round. Sean Kutzer, like I said, swapping bikes out with Tinas, so steps onto the Honda, and the Honda seems to be a good package. He stayed on the lead lap with 4 laps scored and counted for him. 3rd place gives him some good numbers on the page. One of the stories of the day, though, was Carly Simon, moving up from the ladies' gate, where she's won multiple championships, into the Q1s, 2nd place, and not too far off the win. 5 minutes eventually was the gap between herself and eventual race winner Franco Pretorius, but the day is coming soon where we're going to see a lady win the overall event at the GXCCs. Carly put some money on that one. For now, Franco Pretorius is sitting pretty at the top of the pile, former multiple champion, and once again leads from the top step at round 1.
Hey Franco, first one is never the easiest one, but at least it's done.
Ja nee, dit was baie rowwe baan geweest. Ek het swaar getrek van die eerste lap af, maar ek het beter gedoen van derde, vierde lap begin my rhythm kry. Maar verder was het lekker geweest, maar ja, is lekker gery.
Nice to see the Yami holding together as well. Obviously you've done some nice prep work on this thing in the off season.
Ja, nou so definitief hierdie laaste 2 maande is baie tyd in die fiets gesit, fiets hou, hy loop lekker, hy ry soos 'n droom. En ja, ek wil net dankie sê vir almal wat my help, Olad Coach, Vredele, DFX Graphics wat vir my die graphics gedoen op die fiets. Dit lyk baie mooi. En dankie vir almal se hulp.
Here's it then, Franco Pretorius on the top step. Carly Simon, so close to her first big overall win, beating out Kutzer, Van Josveld, Wolfart and Smallberger in the Q1s. Great to see Haney Macau Jr. back with us racing and hammering the nail in the Q2s ahead of Van Staden, Kutzer and Fourie. Moving then down the order into the Quad Masters, the first of the age group categories, where Philip Boyce ploughed the field to eventually take the win ahead of Pretorius. In the Quad Ladies, Nicole Barnard getting the job done ahead of Kalle van Staden, and Liesel Barnard scoring points in 3rd place. For the Quad Veterans, everyone's chasing the back wheel or wheels of Sways Blicknote on the big 4x4. Tony De Santos, the closest at the moment, ahead of Besadenhout and De Vet. That was the morning session. We get ourselves ready for the afternoon with the big bikes, but first, let's go down and check in with VW Mastercars Hatfield. To all our GXCC club members, VW Mastercars in Hatfield offering a 10% service parts discount with a 15% service labour discount when scheduling your VW service on a Monday. And in addition to that, Hatfield will do a 10% service parts and service labour discount from Tuesday to Friday. To qualify, simply bring your membership card in and speak to the wonderful people at VW Mastercars Hatfield. An amazing turnout for the bikes in the afternoon. Everyone chasing the first win of the championship. Vian tells us all about what to expect in the afternoon session and for the championship.
For the afternoon session, talk to me about the fact that we've got all the big banger teams. It feels like we're at a national. It kind of is. It's like a pre-national, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I know. It's great to see the big teams coming out here in full force. The numbers are looking good. Some great riders that are back, and we can't ask for anything better. We'd love to see some more of the juniors actually coming in to fuller classes on the 50s and 65s. But on the senior classes, we've got stacked gates, and it's great to see the guys are here.
Before the afternoon event, as always, we did a tour of the pits.
Here we go, round one.
Yeah, round one, we're ready. Jumped up on us a little bit quickly, but yeah, no, prepped as we can be for this one, so looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good year. And yeah, no, reigning champs, so we'll see how far out in front we can get in the beginning, and we just keep it there and keep it pinned, see how it goes.
Kind of the usual contenders on your arm as usual, eh?
Yeah, so Lawrence is there, so he's probably going to give us a lot of stick this year. A couple of new faces in the mix as well, so it's going to be interesting to see what the new guys bring. Obviously, the young ones are the fun ones, so let's see how the old goat can keep up with him.
Tell me about the wagon. Obviously, you put in a lot of time getting that thing developed last year, and now it's a freshie. So how's she looking?
Oh, this new FX is incredible. I've never actually ridden anything like it. It's completely new. I mean, the riding position is fantastic, and yeah, look, I think it's going to be an eye opener for everyone. It really is a fantastic bike to ride, and stock, 100% stock. There's absolutely nothing you have to do to that bike, and it is off the line as a machine. So yeah, looking forward to it. I think it's going to be fun.
Perfect. Thank you. Laurie, here we go again, brother. But now you can fight hard for this one.
Yeah, Matt, so lucky to be back. Always the first race of the year. The nerves are there. The team is here, back together. We've got new sponsors on board. So the excitement is high. The preparation is better than last year. The bike's amazing. So yeah, it can only be a good day today.
Yeah, I mean, last year you spent a year getting this thing dialed. Now it must be butter.
Yeah, last year it was last minute that we're racing again, and then new manufacturer. It took us a while to get comfortable. But yeah, like you say, this year we're coming out swinging. We're more comfortable on the bike, more prepared. And the team is fired up. We're excited. So it can only be a good year.
No, I just chatted to Kochi, old Yamaha boy over there. Yeah. He knows he's got the number one plate, so he knows it's going to be a dialed fight.
Yeah, Kochi, he's on it. He's always someone to reckon with. But yeah, it's all clean, good racing. We respect each other. It's a lacquer class. The senior class is lacquer. Kenny Gilbert will be doing a couple of races this year. Kieran Fitzgerald will be back soon after his Dakar injury. So yeah, then the class will be back to a full class and very competitive. So yeah, that's what motivates me. I'm excited when there's competition, and yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Beyond standard option, first gate of the season, the whole world's here.
Yeah, no, everybody's out here for obviously first race of the season. Everybody's excited. All the teams are back. It's nice to see a lot of people. Just being back at the races, obviously. I mean, I've been back off the bike for 2 months now. At the first ride last weekend, so yeah, we'll see how today goes. Just gonna get some bike time, be back on the bike, and obviously build up from here. But yeah, obviously as the season progresses, hopefully we'll get better. But yeah, just out here to have some fun today, knock off the laps and get the kilometers in.
Ryan, another race season, another Lekoa Lodge. We know what we've got ahead of us, eh?
Yeah, I'm excited to go out. It looks quite similar to last year, but hopefully there's some new sections. I think it'll be cool.
It looks like you've got all the pressure off you. You're just running your own show this time. Tell me about the setup you got.
I'm on my old KTM again. No pressure. I've got my old sponsors and things I like to use, so yeah, I'm happy.
Dart, buddy, it's been a long time, man. Where you been?
Oh, it's been 2 years. I've been having kids and starting a business, so yeah, it's been long time. Got the call from Ian 2 weeks ago saying do I want to ride Taki's bike at the first race, and then I asked Taki, you sure? And he said, yeah, called me up about a week ago. I said, no, okay, it's happening. So called Ross, he just landed back from Dakar, said, can I borrow your practice bike? He said, no problem. So done probably less than 10 hours of riding in the past 2 years, but we're going to go for it and have fun today.
So those shirts are going to get ripped with arm pump.
Yeah, I actually took this shirt out the plastic from 2 years ago. But yeah, definitely going to be a tough day. I think I've never had to worry about fitness before in my life, but today it's going to be about fitness and nursing at home.
Listen, dude, it's great to have you back on the wagon.
No, excited to be back and looking forward to the season.
Mikey, cool to have you back on the gate full time. GXCC, here we go.
For sure, man. It's really exciting, you know. My initial comeback was to GXCC Racing, and we've won championships here, and I love, you know, it's like a family to me. We weren't here the whole year last year, but I said, you know, we've got to commit to a full season. Let's race. We're in. I'm excited.
You've seen the gates as well. I mean, everyone's lined up, man. Everyone.
Yeah, literally. That makes it even more exciting. So, you know, the numbers are here. The events are great. They're set up awesomely. I encourage everyone to come. You know, come and race. Join the Oaks. KZN guys, come and race with us. Yeah, so let's get out there. I'm keen.
Let's talk about the beast for a second. The Big H, the Honda. You got comfy on that thing. Nicely comfy.
No, for sure. Look, it's year number 2 now on the Honda, and we've gotten really dialed in. Changed up a few things. I'm now riding with Dunlops. So we've got Dunlops on the bike, and the bike is hooking. So we really are there. TBR is they've fine-tuned the suspension, so we're there. I'm excited. You know, Langston Racing, we've got all the bits and pieces on the bike, acro pipes, this, that. You know, it's all there. So can't ask for more. And now it's down to me, really.
Scotty, officially on the big gate. How are you feeling about this one?
Yeah. So kind of came out here. Wasn't really planning on it, but we have our photo shoot to launch the team and stuff on Monday. So yeah, coincidentally it lined up. So we'll see if time allows, and hopefully maybe do the whole season, but haven't really fully decided on that. So yeah, today we'll see how it goes and have some fun and test the new bikes.
Seems to be the story of this race. Everyone's come out. Even if you're not a GXCC racer, everyone's on the gate.
Yeah, it's good to see good number of entries, and I think there's a few new people out here, which is really cool. And it had a bit of rain, I believe, yesterday, so I think the track's going to be really cool. The GXTC team always put on a phenomenal event, so yeah, really looking forward to it today.
Down to the gate then, where everyone was locked and loaded, ready to rip the bars off on the first of the OR1 Pro Gates, which held, count them, 4 previous multiple GXCC champions. One of those riders, Mikey P. Magic Mike Pentecost got the cheese and ran off front with Scotty Haygate, jumping onto a brand new machine on his wheel, heading out into the fields. OR2's great story, John Buerta moving across into the OR2s this season onto a Husky, himself and Ruan Merry, both of the Husqvarna Bikers Warehouse riders getting the job done. In the OR3s, all about Peter Karam getting the job done, himself and Beverly getting out of the gate nicely. But the rider to watch on this gate was definitely going to be Peltzer. He's on a burner in 2024. High school gate, 1 or 2 riders getting stalled out, but the 2 riders out of Ride KTM Durban, Tommy Scales and Nathan Westerdale, were in charge coming off of the gate. In the seniors, Lawrence and Kochi fluffed their lines off the gate, leaving the rest of the riders to go out there. It was actually Bew Levy that got the whole shot, but Kochi and Mahoney would be charging and plowing the field. Masters, standard option. Farmer and Hall running the numbers with Millies, and it was going to be interesting to see who was going to walk away with this one. It looked like on paper it was going to be a fast 450 track. On the veterans category, Jeff Den has been picked up by the Pepsi Plastics Kawasaki squad, and he ran clear air off the front himself, and Marty Poole would be elbows up for the day. Into the OR1 Pro-Ams, where we saw much bigger gates than we did in 2023. There was going to be all kinds of riders going out there. A lot of the riders coming out of the VW Mastercars Hatfield squad were going to chase the cheese. In the OR2s, Dieter Vet looked like he got the whole shot until he tucked the front in spectacular fashion, and he would have to plow the field, going for the glory off the gate. Jaden Boyce showed his intent coming off the gate on race 1, lap 1, and got the first cheese riding out of the Pepsi Plastics Kawasaki squad. Boyce is going to be a rider to watch on the OR3 Pro-Ams as he moves his way forward. Into the OR4s, Drickers van der Merwe, after narrowly missing out on the round win in the morning session on the Senior 85s. He's now on the OR4 gate, which is now officially a club and regional championship. Himself and Jake the Snake were banging bars nice and early. For the ladies' gate, now a combined gate, you had the Pocket Rocket once again going after it with Bianca Edwards and Gabby Fotheringham on the wheel. The ladies' gate combining the pros and pro-ams from last season, giving us much closer racing. We go out there in the fields to start climbing those stacked gate ladders. First of those is the ladies' gate. Megan Duplessis unfortunately going down and busting her collarbone early in the season. We wish her a speedy recovery. Nicole Duplessis, problems for her on the day as well. Only one lap scored and counted for her, 7th place on the scoring cards. Elang Chabana, who was one of the most consistent riders towards the end of last season, now moving up into the combined gate, walks away with a number 6 ride. Caitlin Pretorius not at full fitness or full strength just yet. We'll see her get a little bit faster and stronger as the year goes on. 5th place, not a bad points haul though, even though she had her issues on the day. Gabby Fotheringham, always with a big smile on her face as well. She'll be happy to move up into the combined gate. 4th place for her. Bianca Edwards, the reigning Pro-Am champion, now going to go after a Pro Ladies title. Walks away with a 3rd place on the day. And what a story for Brooklyn Lilford, a brand new name. Remember it, because she is going to be a massive threat in the championship. Only missed out on her inaugural GXCC win at the first time of asking by just under a minute. She tagged onto the back wheel of Shelley Tyler, who makes her comeback in the 2024 season. A couple of years out, great to have Shelley back on the numbers. She is the lady to beat. She walks away with the big number 1 at round number 1. A lot of talent in the OR4 field. Chris Harmser Jr. started to make his name up there as well, getting comfortable with the bigger machinery for the VW Mastercars Hatfield squad. 8th place for him. Querin Degnar up the road into a number 7, enjoying the whoop-de-doos and the styling jump section towards the beginning of the track. 7th place ride with for sure Bosch getting it done inside of a number 6. You'll start to see a couple of riders doing double duty, racing in the 85 Pros and as well in the afternoon session for the OR4s, making things super duper busy. Matthias Tiempont unfortunately getting crossed up on one of the rocky climbs. It wasn't too tech, but it was very, very hard to get the traction down. Matthias recovering nicely to eventually walk away with a number 5 on the day. Dylan Besaten-Hout, who's fairly comfortable in this type of terrain and on his machine as well, having spent the end of last season on that bike, gets away with it into a number 4 ride. And Jake the Snake Pretorius, who seems to have been on the Kawasaki machine for a long time, but finally makes the move up to start getting comfortable with the OR4 machine. That's the 250 version of the KX. He'll be happy with a 3rd place ride. Peter Colleen, happy also with his 2nd place ride. One or two of these riders have definitely shown they put in the work in the off-season to get comfortable on their machinery. And as we've always said, it's a tough start to go out of the gate into Lekoa Lodge, but if you can get Lekoa Lodge right, it could be the beginning of a fantastic journey. That's certainly the case for Drickus van der Merwe, the VW Mastercars Hatfield rider, who's pretty much too big for his 85. Looks nice and comfortable on the YZ as he walks away with the opening round win. OR3 Pro-Am stacked gate once again. Timmy Blake moves away from the Husqvarna and onto a Yamaha for the first time in 2024. Hansie van der Berg just a little bit further up the road from him on a Sherco, dancing the bike around and enjoying his time on the bars. 7th place ride for him and stays on the lead lap with 4 laps scored and counted. Cameron Farrell, normally racing out there on a 125, starts to make the move up into the OR3 Pro-Ams and looks comfortable on the 250 4-stroke KTM machine. Jandre Bosch, another rider who's come out of our junior ranks, looks like he is in good form as he moves forward, coming home with a number 5 on his scorecard. Janko van der Kerk, very comfortable, very tasty rider as well, walking away with the 3rd place ride, not too far off the big numbers, putting on the style out there on the jumps towards the halfway marker of the course. Nathan Godrich picked up a big injury around about halfway through last season, so coming back to full fighting fitness and throwing down a solid number 3 ride. Should be able to challenge for top finishes towards the mid part of the season. Dean Buerta, coming out of Gravity Racing, gets the job done into 2nd place. A great start for his championship campaign as well, and that was all set up by a fantastic gate and running the numbers in laps 1 and 2 to stay out there nice and high. Keanu Visser, a rider we've watched coming out of the junior ranks, started on his GXCC journey back in 65cc days, was dominant in the 85 juniors, and he's climbed the ladder through the high schools and now racing in the OR3 Pro-Ams, looking like a massive threat. Probably see him move up into the pro category for next year. Into the OR2 Pro-Ams, where once again we saw well over 20 riders out there. Peter Moret tagging the numbers inside of a number 8 with JP Stapleberg up the road from him in 7th. These riders mostly on a 3-lap scorecard. Only when you break into the top 5 you start talking about the guys who were on the lead lap, scoring a 3-hour race format and putting 4 laps under their belt. There was a big dice in the early part of the race between 5 and 6th place. That was Russell Van Gool and Tian Hinnis. Those guys were elbows up. Eventually, Russell Van Gool putting Tian Hinnis 1 lap down to cement that number 5 ride. Tim Black got the job done inside of a number 4, and he wasn't too far off some real big hitters a little bit higher up the road. Towards the end of last season, we saw one of the comeback rides in the last 2 rounds coming out of Jaco Nordia. Himself and his brother used to be GXCC stalwarts and now starting to find their feet once again. 3rd place. Watch out for Nordia to start challenging for wins. But he's going to have to get around old Ruben Stratham, getting the job done on the C2. Famously on the back wheel every time he sees one of our camera crew out there, and we love him for it. Keep doing your thing, Ruben. 2nd place. But if you keep that front wheel down, maybe there's a win on the scorecards. Losing out on the win eventually by 1.5 minutes to Dieter de Vet, the comeback kid, going down in a blaze of glory off the whole shot, plowing the entire field and walking away with the cheese. A great ride coming out of the END QCon rider. The OR1 Pro-Am Big Bangers also saw an absolutely epic gate where we saw Sean Vermaak squeak his way into the big show. 8th place ride for him. 3 laps scored and counted. Similar situation where we only saw the lead riders inside of the top 4. Chris Harmser Sr. gelling nicely this season with the 500. Done a lot of setup work on his machine and finally found the comfortable sweet spot. The main dude out of VW Mastercars Hatfield. 7th place ride for him. Johannes Grobler up the road into a number 6. He'll be happy with that. 3 laps scored and counted. Man, the heat came up in the afternoon and the Pro-Am riders definitely felt it out there. The winds did drop off. I mean, thankfully we were racing in Lekoa Lodge during the rainy season. You can see the grass was absolutely gorgeous. The wind did come, but it was absolutely stinking hot out there, well over 35 degrees, as we saw Hendrico Harmser on the big Honda get the job done inside of number 5, and Francois Smallberger Jr., historically a 250 rider. He looks much better on a 450 though, much more comfortable with his setup, and certainly the results show. 4th place for him. Danny Goodall gets the big Honda out there onto a number 3 ride. He looked really good towards the end of last season, and he's clearly carried that momentum forward. All medium size here, Shane Nienaber waving the flag nicely for the VW Mastercars Hatfield Mega Squad. 2nd place for him, and not too far off the win. 3.5 minutes eventually off the back wheel of the second of the Stratham brothers. This time Ben Roos Stratham keeping both wheels on the ground, showing brother that if you don't wheelie so much, you can walk away with the wins. So much fun to have the Stratham bros out there just having a big laugh every time they come past our crew. For the veteran class, interesting to see S1 Hall coming out there. Historically a great technical rider, but does enjoy hanging off the back a little bit as well. 8th place for him. Johan Fourie, the big guy coming across from the tarmac and enjoying being part of the GXCC family. He'll be happy with the 7th place ride. He was running a little bit higher last year, but definitely the veterans class is going to be very tricky to break inside of the top 5 with a strong talent pool. Stefan Bagnall up there into a number 6 ride, just off the back wheel of Dick Bessinger, who definitely put in the off-season training, looking very strong, powering his way to a number 5. Gotta love the VW Mastercars kit, guys running blue and pink, easy to spot the whole way through the championship challenge. Willem Swickers always going to be on the Yamaha, comfortable, happy with the ride inside of a number 4. Maybe not the track that suited his kind of riding style. He likes to go sand surfing, so a little bit too rocky for him. Jeremy Smith getting around him and up there into a number 3 ride, keeping those elbows high. And Marty Poole, the reigning champ, trying to see what he can do in 2nd place. Eventually losing out by a slender 1 second over race winner Jeff Den. Marty Poole though, we call him the diesel engine. He will keep on running, keep on trucking, and make very few mistakes throughout the championship. 2nd place is a strong start for the factory Shimwell's Yamaha rider, but it was the Pets and Plastics Kawasaki of Jeff Dan, who is now starting to get comfortable on the Japanese machine. He got the whole shot and ran clear air all the way through the day to take the inaugural win of the season in the Vets. For the Masters category, Timmy Dreyer gets the job done into a number 8 ride. Timmy had some problems on the day, only completing 1 lap. Up the road from him, Francois Bosch and Norman Kaywood, they were banging bars nice and early on. 7th and 6th place respectively for the riders, trying to challenge all the way through the championship. We remind ourselves as we get into the Masters Gate that this is going to be an 8-round championship with 1 throwaway, so we're going to be busy the whole way through the championship challenge. Next round, by the way, start marking the calendars. We are going to go out to Rysmierbult. That is going to be gnarly. Hopefully we go there early enough to stay away from the dust balls. Francois Bosch was in 7th with Kaywood in 6th. JJ Duval getting the job done in a number 5 with Francois Swanepoel changing allegiance. He's been on Husqvarna for many seasons. Now he moves across and gets picked up and supported by Roost KTM. Carl Leroux, Millies as he's affectionately known, moves into his customary 3rd position. Just could not hang with the pace running out front of the top 2 combatants. Those, as always, Wayne Farmer and Peter Hall. This time around, the track suited the big 4-stroke powerhouse that is the Pepson Plastics Kawasaki and the Bikers Warehouse Husqvarna 300. A little bit down on high speed this time around. Wayne ripped the bars off as always, but it was Farmer that walked away with it this time. Just putting less than half a second into Farmer, and that's how close they were the whole way through the day. First blood, though, will go to Hall. Moving up into the seniors, where once again it was an interesting situation where the top 2 combatants would be Kochi and Mahoney. They fluffed their lines off the gate, so they had to plow the entire field to get through and see clear air. Yavan Scapiro got the job done into a number 8 with Pierre Buchholz just up the road from him into a number 7. It's going to be so fun to watch this senior championship unfold. 6th place on the day going to Sean Badenhorst. He knows his way around this terrain. He must have raced for about 10 years out here at Lekoa Lodge, so he knows how to get the best out of his Yamaha. Henny Blicknot, one of those riders to watch out in the championship. 1 or 2 tracks really suit his style, and he seems to come to life towards the halfway marker of the championship, so not a bad start to see him up the road into a number 5. Grant Bellington made the big trip from KZN, historically more of an enduro rider, but certainly likes to hang and swing off the back, so great to see him stretching his passport and coming across the border. 4th place, one of his best rides at a GXCC. Matty Sneyman has now made the move out of the Pro-Am ranks into the age group category. The seniors is a good fit for Sneyman on the VW Mastercars KTM. Lawrence Mahoney, as we said, fluffed his lines a little bit off the start and maybe rode slightly too aggressive in the rocks towards the end of the race, collapsing his rear moose and causing him to step down into 2nd place. But he'll still be happy with 2nd. Not too far off the first win of the season, but that honor goes to the reigning champ, Marco Kochi. He had an amazing season in 2023, and he's trying to back that up once again in 2024. 1 or 2 mistakes, but that's how it rolls at Lekoa Lodge. But the factory Shimwell's Yamaha 450 rider, Kochi, on the top step at the opening round. For the high school gate, we're going to see some new blood coming in here. A lot of riders moving up from the 85 pros and starting to make a name for themselves on the high school 125 gate. Lohan Leroux and Hendrik Swartz were all over each other in the early stages of the event until the race started to settle down. Mind you, all of the top 8 of the high school racers stayed on the lead lap. That's 4 laps scored and counted, and they definitely had some fun out there. This was a fantastic track for the high school 125 races. The straights weren't too long, and the technical zones meant that these wheels were spinning and hooking up nicely. Dion van Start was running a number 6 with Ron Opperman up the road into a number 5. Alex Schrobler had some issues on the day and he dropped down outside of the top 6 at one point, but he did recover nicely. Murray Smith, similar situation. He had a faulty spark plug off the gate and he eventually went out and plowed the field to climb the ladder inside of a number 4. A great comeback ride for him. For Westerdale, some navigational issues on lap number 1 put him down to the back of the pack, and he also charged up to a number 3. So these results don't really show how fast Smith and Westerdale truly were. They're definitely going to be banging bars and they'll be elbows up for the next couple of rounds. John Bart Moritz did a standout ride to get a number 2 spot. He's one of the riders that's come out of our junior development program, out of the 85s into the OR4s, and now running in 2nd place. Wasn't far off the win as well, eventually losing out to Alex Schrobler by around about 5 minutes. These 2 riders, the class of the field on the day, but when everyone figures out how to get off the gate and get the spark plugs working, the high school 125s will come to life at round number 2. Moving up the ladder then, as we head into the pro categories, Jason Leslie, after a couple of seasons on the high school gate, starting to get comfortable on the Yamaha 4-stroke. 8th place for him, 3 laps scored and counted, still developing the bike to try and get the sweet spot. Francois Swart on the Kawasaki into a number 7 ride. He'll be pretty happy with that, not too far off the lead lap. 6th place for Derek Karam, doesn't show how good or fast he actually is. He actually stopped on the side of the road to make sure his brother Peter Karam, who crashed on lap number 1, was okay, but still managed to get 6th place under his belt. All running smooth. We should see Derek running up there inside of the top 3. Blake Young has been picked up by the UB Leisure Franchise Co Honda squad, stepping out of the high school gate, so he's still developing, trying to figure out how to get the best out of a 4-stroke. He'll be happy to run inside of the top 5 early on the gate. Not much seat time on the machine. I know that most riders only got their bikes maybe a week or 2 before the first event, so watch out for setup changes as we go into the rest of the season. Ryan Angili now moving full-time into the cross-country arena. He'll be very happy with a 4th place ride. Came in lastminute.com last year, around about halfway through the season as we hit the Nationals at Vryburg, and he is going to be a key rider to watch out for as he will develop throughout the season. Kobus Bester, after almost an entire career racing on Husqvarnas, has moved across to Yamaha for the season. Certainly on the cross-country side of things, 3rd place for him shows that he is going to be right up there playing the game and swinging off the back. Tyron Beverly, the top Honda rider at the moment, trying to get the job done for the UB Leisure and Franchise Co Honda Racing Squad. 2nd place puts him right where he needs to be for a championship challenge. Looks like he is in the form of his life this year. Brian Peltzer, after losing his factory Husqvarna seat, has gone back to full privateer, and it seems to be the perfect fit for him. The RKM Thor Racing KTM rider, all the way at the front, and no one ever saw his back wheel after the gate. The OR2 Pro category going to be an interesting one, as a lot of the key riders have gone missing, either moving up a category or stepping across into Enduro for the 2024 season. CD Gerson, a former 2-time GXCC quad racing champion, 8th place for him, and he will also be very happy with that. Gav Young was up the road in a number 7. He'll have been expecting a little bit more from himself, and he'll be waiting for a track to come to him on the season. Out of an 8-race series, there's always going to be a track that's going to be the sweet spot. Stoffel Berger up the road into a number 6, even though he went cannonball. One of the standout rides for me on the day was Xander King, looking very comfortable on the Yamaha 2-stroke that he's developed for the last couple of seasons. Although, everyone did say, if you were on a smoker, you were a little bit behind the curve. You needed a little bit more brute horsepower, but Xander King made a good job of it into a number 5. Seth Lilford, the Lilfords coming in like a powerhouse squad. Brother and sister getting the job done. Sister walking away with a 2-spot. Brother walking away at the number 4 spot. Remember the name Lilford. They have come in swinging hard in 2024. Ruan Merry probably surprised himself and many out there. He is on a Husqvarna 250 smoker, and he almost walked away with the big numbers. 3rd place, he'll be happy with that until he gets back on his favorite machine, which is going to be the Husky 350. Carl DeToy, a late season pickup for the VW Mastercars Hatfield squad, and a good shopping haul for them as well. Carl DeToy, 2nd place on the day and not too far off the big win. DeToy is going to be one of those diesel engines that keeps trucking throughout the championship. A lot of changes for this rider, off the red and onto the white and onto the OR2s. He is going to be the dude to beat. He is absolutely gone off the front of this category and running inside of the top 6 in the overalls. John Buerter hammers a nail in the OR2s for the Bikers Warehouse squad. Into the OR1 Pro category, where Devon Wolfart, who did make a good showing of the late season in 2023, walks away with an 8th place ride. The Rooster into a number 7. He'll be fairly happy with that, and he said this was custom made for the 500. He says there's just so much talent in the OR1 Pro gate at the moment. Brendan Kotzer for the VW Mastercars Hatfield squad, happy with his setup on the 450. Looks like he's going to have a good season this time around as well. John Vilking for the Bikers Warehouse Honda Racing squad got the job done into a number 5, but at one point on the race he was actually running in 2nd place, coming back from a horrific injury at the beginning of last season, and the wrist was definitely giving him some problems out there. Hayden Lowe eventually got around him. We'll talk about Hayden just now, but Wade Den was a good story as well. Another rider coming back from injury woes last year, walking away with a 4th place for the Pepson Plastics Factory Kawasaki squad. He was in good company as well. in the early laps. Himself and D'Artagnan Lobjoy, a former multiple GXCC champion, coming back after 2 years in the wilderness. Lastminute.com call-up from the Pepsin squad, and he came back swinging. Third place, a big surprise as well. He thought fitness was going to be a factor. It definitely was. He'd done the good yards in the early laps to stay out inside of the top 3. Welcome back, the Dart. An interesting story on the day was Mike Pentecost going out and hole-shotting, and then halfway through lap number 1, having some mechanical issues, bursting his radiator. He went back to the pits, grabbed a high school 125 machine, and went out there and put on a show. His lap times were scary fast. Unfortunately, that didn't help him in the championship. He was just out there burning laps. The top 2 riders on the day were Hayden Lowe, riding on the UB Leisure Franchise Co. Factory Honda, and the Brother Leader Tread Factory KTM of Scotty Haygate. Those 2 riders put on a big show, and there were only 2 riders to go out there and complete a 5-lap racing format. Scotty H walking away with the first big win, but Hayden Lowe was not far off his back wheel. Watch out for Lowe to potentially challenge for a win at some point in the 2024 championship. But for now, an interesting situation where we see a lot of riders back to full fitness. This is going to be an absolute nail-biter. Remember, 1 or 2 riders having a bogey race here at Lekoa Lodge, but they can throw away that low-scoring point. The rest of the championship, though, will have to be perfect. For now, all eyes on Scotty H.
Hey, Scotty H, they say if you can win at Lekoa Lodge, you can win anywhere, eh?
Well, yeah, I think today I had a phenomenal ride out there. I didn't really know what to expect. I hadn't ridden the 2024 bike at all. It was the first time today, so suspension and everything was a bit, icy there in the beginning, but I got used to it, and thanks to Uncle Kev for putting all the work in and getting it as good as we could before we do any testing. So yeah, I think it's a really good spot to start for the season.
I saw you weren't too happy with that last lap, having to go out. I mean, it was running late, eh?
Yeah, I was a bit confused. I came into pits and everyone was like, are you going out again? And I was like, no one showed me a checkered flag, so I presume so. But yeah, I think considering the first one, the fitness isn't exactly where it should be, but overall I was really chuffed. And yeah, 5 laps in the bag, so it takes the fitness to a new level. And yeah, I think it's a really good spot. Can't thank the team enough, to Uncle Kev, the whole Brother Leader Tread team, to my parents, everyone that's just behind me this year. I think it's going to be a good year, so thank you very much. And to the GXCC organizers, what a phenomenal event, and hopefully I can do most of them this year, if not all of them.
Hey, you've shown like good flashes of form towards the end of last season, and I think this year you're starting on the right foot, eh?
Yeah, super happy with today. Last season, didn't go so well, so to end the year off was good. Been training hard, so yeah, we got some stuff to work on, but super happy with today.
Like Jane to Laurie, you spent a lot of time on the bike, maybe not as much time as you could to get it dialed into the sweet spot, so this is still going to be a lot of development this year.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely didn't get to spend as much time as I'd like on the bike, but it was super good. It handled, the tyres were good, so yeah, I think we're going in the right direction.
Always used to think you liked all the safe tracks, but you kind of run good on the gnarly ones, eh?
Yeah, I think from KZN, I think with all the rocks and stuff, it kind of suits me, so I get to ride there a lot, so yeah, these types of tracks do suit me.
Mikey, you're just a headline machine, brother. Tell me about that story today.
Unfortunately, yes, man, we got a good start. Happy with my start. Everything was cool. Struggled to find a flow at first on the bike, and yes, as soon as I got going, I ended up hitting those steel uprights, and it went straight through the radiator. So that put me out of the race halfway through the first lap. I was dicing with Scotty there in the beginning, and then I was bored in the pits here. And I managed to find one of my teammates' 125s. So we had an absolute jaw on that all day, and yeah, it really took me back to my youth.
I saw you were just having a giggle out there.
Oh, I was ripping, man. I was having such a laugh because I caught a lot of the front guys, and they thought, "Who the heck is this oak singing on a 125?" I was screaming. I was having so much fun. Such a duel.
Shame, Mike. Sorry about the mechanical, but I know you'll bounce.
For sure. No, it's a bummer, man. Thanks to everyone for all the help. Our team for all the support. And at the end of the day, we are here for the duel, and that's what I had today as our ultimate duel.
Kochi, Lekoa is going to ask everything of you. Have you got the answers?
Yeah, I had them all in the bag today. It was fantastic. I mean, what a ride. I don't know, it was beautiful track. Everything really worked out for me. I mean, the start was absolute shocker of a start. Lo and I gave everybody a bit of a head start, and then we pushed through. Managed to, me and him got out into the front, and held it there for a while. Unfortunately, Lawrence had an issue with his rear wheel, and that slowed him down a little bit. But then I knew when I had a gap, I had to put the hammer down. So worked extremely hard today. I mean, thank you to Zach and the guys from Rysmierbult for looking after us, keeping us rehydrated and refueled. And all I can say is thank you. I mean, it was an absolutely fantastic day. I loved it. And first one in the bag. So here we go. It's going to be a good year.
Kind of don't want to see Lekoa for another year at least, eh?
Yeah, at least another year. Hands are a little bit sore after today's event. But still, I mean, a beautiful track, it's really flowy and nice. But then they put the bumps and the rocks and all the rest of it. I mean, the bike worked like an absolute dream. It's a bit unfair at the moment, actually, the way it works. I think the biggest hindrance on the motorcycle today was the rider. But it was absolutely fantastic. Loved every minute. No, thank you to Vian and Miranda for putting it together. And I mean, to Lawrence, we had a good scrap out there until his tyre packed up. And the rest of the guys, to come and do 200 Ks through this, it was a challenge, but loved every minute of it. And just grateful to be here and just blessed.
Laurie, long, hot first day in the seat, eh?
Yeah, Matt, lucky to be back. First one for the year. Awesome track, well done to GXCC. They always put great events together. Track was challenging, very rocky, very rough. You had to be awake the whole time. A couple of fast sections, which was nice to get a breather. But all in all, good race for a tester. We tested a lot on the bike, getting it set up, getting it dialed in. Wasted a bit of time in the pits, just doing a couple of settings. But all in all, we're here to test and to get ready for the first national coming up.
We always say if you can get a bike set up at Lekoa Lodge, you can ride it anywhere.
That's true, Matt. This track is the terrain is very hard, and obviously we've raced here a couple of times in the past, so the track is rough already off the bat. And being hard terrain, it gets choppy. So like you say, if the bike is set up here and you can hang it and feel safe, it will work everywhere.
Peter, another year, the battle resumes, eh?
Yeah, no, it was. I thought of what I'm going to do this year, but it's just so much fun. The master class with Wayne there, it's just also awesome. We had a good fight this morning, and it's just awesome having Wayne in the master class, because the other oaks are far behind, and to ride on your own is not that nice. So here and there I slacked off a bit, because you can't go race pace at this age all the time. But then he's in me, and then we both have to send it and see who comes out first. So luckily for me today, I think the 450 was the better bike on this track. But I don't know. It was just lucky. We enjoyed it.
Wayne, from your side, I know you've been turning up the training big time and working on your tech. It helped in these rocks, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, it does, but the tech is like a bit slower, so we've been doing well with that. But just to get on the gas a bit, shame this poor 300, as Peter said, it was a 450 route. I've been wringing this thing's neck just to try to keep up with him. And then you get a dust cap, and I had a bit of a problem with a bit of a splurge, but my cap wasn't tight in it. All of a sudden I got like my bike powers back. But no, all hats off to Peter, he rode like a dream today. But you catch up to the oak and he just gives you a mouthful of that 450 dust. But poor bike screaming, but we're safe. I'm happy.
Listen, Wayne, you won't know, but a lot of the pros have gone down today. Is this an experienced track or what?
Yeah, no, you have to watch out. You really have to. Even like when, as I say, catch up to Peter, and then he gives it. Whoa, those rocks and everything are waiting for you. You know what I'm saying? So you have to watch out. But you just keep your head about you. As he says, as masters, we know when to shut it off and when to open it. But you had to be wide awake, but very demanding, eh?
So let's go through the big shopping list. These are the points and finishes coming out of round number 1. Scotty H gets first blood, taking the overall and the win in the OR1 Pros ahead of Lowe and Lobjoy. OR2 is all about Johnny Buerta and a great ride coming in for Carl DeToy ahead of Mary and Lilford. King rounding out our top 5. OR3 Pros all about Peltzer and Beverly, Bester, Angili and Young, with Derek Karam coming back to finish inside the top 6. High School all about Krobler, Maritz and Westerdale, with Smitty recovering nicely to a number 4. Seniors Kochi gets first blood ahead of Mahoney. Watch for that fight to start unfolding as we move forward into the rest of the tour. For the Masters, Hull gets first blood on the big Kawasaki ahead of Farmers Husqvarna, with Millie's LaRue on the KTM in third place. Veterans all about Jeff Den and Marty Poole, with Smitty in third place ahead of Swiggers and Dick Bessinger. Into the Pro-Am, starting out with the OR1 Big Banger. Stratham beats out on medium-sized Shane, Goodall and Smallberger. OR2 Pro-Ams all about DeVette. Great comeback ride for him ahead of Stratham, Nordia, Black and Van Gool. Into the OR3 Pro-Ams all about Visser, charging hard ahead of Buerta, Godric, Van Niekerk and Bosch. OR4 is always going to be an interesting one this season. Drickus van der Merwe takes first blood ahead of Colleen Pretorius and Besadenhout. And for the ladies, former champ Shelley Tyler comes back swinging hard, beating out on Lilford, Edwards and Fotheringham. That was the opening round of the championship. It's going to be an absolutely wild journey as we continue throughout 8 rounds of the season in 2024. The next round heads to Rysmierbult. Hang on to your hats. The season has only just begun. So with the first round out of the way, we get ourselves ready for round number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. But let's talk about round number 2. I just got the green lights that I can tell you guys we were going back to Rysmierbult. So put it in your diaries. That's going to be round number 2 of the championship. Rysmierbult back on the cards. And then it does sound like round number 3 is going to be a brand new venue. So as soon as Vian gives us the green lights on that, we'll be able to tell you what's happening. But for now, hope you guys enjoyed the show. We're getting ourselves ready to focus into the racing month of March. Hopefully a little bit of motocross, a little bit of enduro, all kinds of fun stuff happening. That was GXCC round number 1. Stay tuned for more.